So my name is Chris Dwan. I'm with the BioTeam, and I'm in the role of Stan Gloss today. More of you probably know Stan than know me. My role is to give a 10-minute introduction to what we're doing here today and then pass it off almost immediately to the three excellent speakers that we have lined up. The schedule broadly is that we have a coffee break in the middle of a three-hour session. We're going to try and put that at about 3:15. So actually shift my timing there. So 3:30 probably starts Matthew Trunnell. But we're going to have Chris Degdegian, who was the keynote speaker at BioIT World last year. He just got back from doing a SunGrid Engine conference in Germany. He will be doing a similar session to this in Germany next week, the week after, talking about data management storage for next-gen sequencing. Jacob Farmer is the Chief Technical Officer of Cambridge Computer, who are a company that does a lot of storage consulting, really high-tier experts in terms of figuring out how to store and manage and replicate and organize data onto hardware. He is also, as of, I believe, yesterday, a new father. Congratulations, Jacob. And Matthew Trunnell is from the Broad Institute and is really at the forefront of dealing with next-gen sequencing in terms of having a room full of these sequencers, where when we were all sort of worried about what to do with a terabyte of data, he was looking at several terabytes per day. And I'm excited to see where that has gotten to in the months since I've seen you talk last. Just in terms of biography, we've got Chris Degdegian as a founding partner of BioTeam, Jacob Farmer as CTO, and Matthew Trunnell as a director. We're all, I'm really excited to see what these folks are going to say. BioTeam's been around since 2002. More interesting to me as I thought about this, we've been doing this particular sort of session, I believe, for 4 years now with CHI, and it really started in large part because we noted through our work with various customers that you folks should be talking to each other, that there ought to be a venue where researchers and IT folks and storage vendors and vendors of these instruments could get together and talk directly. And so the hope of these sessions is really to inspire conversation. And at the end, we've got this sort of small whiteboard. We're going to turn around to a panel format. And I hope that if you have specific questions, specific architectural concerns, and specific things that you would like to see these folks talk about, you will go ahead and take the opportunity to ask those questions and start the conversations that can continue through the rest of the conference. I wanted to mention one thing, since I have the microphone for another 3 minutes, that is not directly represented in any of the talks, but the Amazon EC2 cloud is a very real technology that is influencing a lot of what BioTeam is working on these days. We have seen a number of different organizations deploying, the term of art now is cloud bursting apparently, deploying flexible cluster solutions into the Amazon cloud. And I would be fascinated in the discussion section if any of you are doing that, have an interest in doing that, have seen somebody either succeed or fail with taking a large computational or data problem and spinning it off into cloud land. And with that, I will turn it over to Chris Degdegian. And thank you all for attending. It's actually really humbling and gratifying to see so many of you here. I happen to notice on the attendee list that many of you have been to various prior incarnations of this session. And thank you. I really appreciate that. I'll turn it over to you, Chris.
All right. Thanks, Chris. All right. I have a fisheye camera lens and not enough excuses to use it. So if you guys don't mind, if I could take a room portrait, that'd be fantastic. Cool. Thank you very much. All right. This microphone might be a little bit too loud. I tend to speak at fairly high volume. So raise your hand or let me know if we start to sort of drown out the room. Chris already gave most of the meta introduction. Really, where it fits in is within BioTeam. I'm the infrastructure geek. I'm the guy who's been building clusters and distributed computing infrastructures for a long time. I'm sort of dealing with the day-to-day nuts and bolts of dealing with IT infrastructures and tuning them or growing them or building them to sort of enable research computing environments. So the way I figured the talks would go is I can give you kind of the consultant view, which is kind of the view from the trenches. We can sort of tell you how lots of different shops, large and small, military, law enforcement, biotech, pharma, we can tell you about sort of what we've seen out in the field. But I'm generally going to give you the overview, the stuff we've seen, the stuff that works, the stuff that hasn't worked. I'm excited to be able to pass it over to Jacob, who really is my go-to source for really nasty storage and backup related issues. And then finally, you actually get to hear from a practitioner at broad scale, which is kind of why we wanted to put Matthew at the end. I'm going to skip the intro slide. Juan already talked a little bit about us. I think before I really start, I would like to do a little bit of an audience poll.